I would like to offer two concluding messages as promised earlier. The first of those messages is Akhi al-Karim, Ukhti al-Karima, dear brothers and sisters, beginning with the one speaking with you today. Try your level best to make some space in your heart for the Quran. There are locks upon the heart. The heart is not yet ready for the Quran. There are hurdles, there are obstacles. The same way that light is primarily intended to benefit the eye and sound primarily affects the ear. Similarly, the Quran is primarily intended to affect the human heart. And that is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose the heart of a human being as the landing platform of the Quran. Not a mountain, not soil, not a building. A heart of a human being. Allah said, وَإِنَّهُ لَتَنزِيلُ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. This Quran is the revelation from the Lord of the worlds. نَزَلَ بِهِ الرُّوحُ الْأَمِينَ. The trustworthy spirit brought it down. Jibreel, عَلَى قَلْبِكَ. Upon your heart, O Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The heart was chosen as the landing platform of the heart, of the Quran. But if the heart is not ready to receive it, the fruits of Iman cannot grow. You recite and the Quran pushes you further and further away from Allah. Yes, according to the Quran can do that. Take pure water and pour it in an unclean glass, see what happens to the water. And that is why he was wrestled by two angels, as you know, shortly before he became a prophet. As a child, wrestled to the ground, opened up physically, not metaphorically. His heart was removed from his chest. The heart was then opened up. The portion of shaitan, harm, was removed. It was sealed, placed back into his chest. And then he was stitched up. Anas said we could see the signs of the stitches on his torso. He needed that type of preparation before the Quran would come to him. And similarly, the rule is the same for you and I. The heart has to go through major changes. Identify those locks, Akhi al-Karim, Ukhti al-Karima. Identify those locks and open up. And don't deprive yourself from the Quran and what it has to offer. That lock has many different shapes. One of the shapes of those locks is the dress. A dress that is not pleasing to Allah. That is a lock that requires opening up. Sometimes it may be a business transaction that you know is doubtful, to say the least, that requires opening up. That lock could be a private relationship that you're in. Conversations that keep coming to you which you don't reject. It could be something you are inhaling, something you are drinking, something you are injecting, something you are consuming, something you are offering, something you are selling. These locks require identifying, and when you find them, open them up using the key of istighfar, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. And then watch how the Quran will allow the fruits of Iman to grow in my heart and yours as well. And that is why Imam al-Zarkashi, he said beautiful words in his Burhan, summarizing everything you just heard. He said, realize that the reciter of the Quran can never benefit from the book of Allah, nor will the secrets of knowledge be opened up for him whilst his heart is home to an innovation or a sin that he is insisting upon. Look deep, brothers and sisters, soul searching at this moment in time as you hear me speak now. What is that sin that may be holding you back from enjoying the happiest days of your life with the book of Allah? It's there. Identify it and open it. Say, astaghfirullah, never again. Make that be your slogan or your motto this evening. Never again. And allow the Quran to do what it is designed to do by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon my heart and yours. This is the first message. Identify the hurdle and remove it. The last of those messages, brothers and sisters, which is nothing short of important, gather your family around the Quran. Bring your wife, sit with your husband. Bring your children together from time to time, preferably every evening, even for just 20 minutes, if not at least maybe just once a week. Gather them around the book of Allah. Why? Because the Sharia has given so much importance to two ingredients when they are married together. What are those two ingredients? The first ingredient is the recitation of the Quran. The second ingredient is the mutual gathering around the study of the Quran. When these two fuse together, something amazing happens. Sakina is involved. Angels are involved. Allah's mentioning of you is involved. And that is why the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in the famous hadith, وَمَا جَتَمَعَ قَوْمٌ فِي بَيْتٍ مِّن بُيُوتِ اللَّهِ يَتْلُونَ كِتَابَ اللَّهِ وَيَتَدَارَسُونَهُ فِيمَا بَيْنَهُمْ إِلَّا نَزَلَتْ عَلَيْهِمُ السَّكِينَةُ وَحَفَّتْهُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ وَغَشِيَتْهُمُ الرَّحْمَةُ وَذَكَرَهُمُ اللَّهُ فِي مَنْ عِنْدَهُ. He said, whenever a people gather around the Quran, reciting it, ingredient number one, and mutually studying it amongst themselves. Underline that. What happens when these two things come together? He said, tranquility comes into the house. The angels surround them with their wings. Mercy envelops them. And Allah Almighty makes mention of them with those who are with Him. The Quran has made no exceptions.
علم أن سيكون منكم مرضى وآخرون يضربون في الأرض يبتغون من فضل الله وآخرون يقاتلون في سبيل الله فاقرأوا ما تيسر منه.
Allah said, I know that some of you will be ill. And I know that some of you will be travelers looking for the bounty of Allah. And I know that some of you will be in jihad, fighting in the path of Allah. Nevertheless, recite what you can from the Quran. Subhanallah, illness, travel, fighting in the path of Allah does not excuse a believer from a daily portion of the Quran. 20 minutes a day of the recitation of the Quran, and I can promise you, dear brother, dear sister, that you will see a tangible change in your entire life. In your economics, your business, in your children, in your ability to sleep at night, in your mental well-being, in your eagerness to be a practicing Muslim. Something as small as 20 minutes. You will see a change in your life. Gather your family around the book of Allah. Gather your students around the book of Allah once a week minimally or something to that effect, and see the change.